All right, I need to check and see if we're actually live. So, this is the first time we're doing this, and I just want to see if it's working. So, StreamYard says it's working. Okay. Okay, I think we're live. If you all we are. Okay, we're gonna be talking about pricing Ami today, and I am actually live streaming on StreamYard and on Instagram, and I've never done this before, so I wanna thank you for your patience. We'll see how things go. Look at me just staring at my computer. So, good morning. I'm so happy to have you here for another episode of Crochet Business Chat. We are going to be, like I said, talking about pricing amigurumi. So, we had some drama in my free Facebook group this weekend, and it bothered me. So, we're gonna talk about things. So, I'm not gonna go into the whole backstory of it. Just suffice it to say that there is a lot of, disparity between how people think they should price items, how people do price items, how much people think others are going to pay for items, what is actually profitable and smart as a business owner, all of the things. So, hi, so glad to see you all. Okay. For those of you who are listening on the podcast, forgive me if I'm chit-chatting back and forth with people who are watching us live on Instagram. I'm streaming live on Instagram. We're recording this. We will upload it to YouTube and upload it as a podcast. So we have all of those things going on, and this is an experiment. So we're seeing the first time how it goes. But I'm gonna be coming back and forth between Instagram and StreamYard so that I, can see what's going on. Does anybody else have trouble with the sound? I'm sorry if there's an issue with the sound, but I'll be looking back through this, afterwards to see how well it worked, to see if we'll do it this way again. But anyway, welcome to pricing, a discussion about what makes sense. Basically, that's what this is. So I'm a very pragmatic person. I only do things that make sense. And I also am willing to ask hard questions. And I want you to be willing to ask yourself the hard questions so that you can make the wisest decisions in your business. So as if you're an or an Omni product seller, any type of product seller, we can, this addresses all of the things. So if even if you're not using Omni, but you have questions about pricing, stick around. We'll address things. So first question I want you to ask yourself when it comes to your physical product sales is, do you want to make a profit? Is profit something that plays into your business model? What does profit look like? So profit is not what you pay what's left over that you pay yourself. Profit is not what, um, what you pay yourself for the time that you spend, making the things that you make. Profit is extra money. So profit is basically in a traditional model of pricing, profit is what's left over after you've paid for your supplies, after you've reinvested in your business, after you've paid yourself for your time, after you've paid your owner's salary because you are a business owner and you get to take a salary from your business. Um, and then what's left over is profit. And you can put that money back into your business if you want to. You can put that money in your pocket if you want to. Um, And so often as people are pricing, they don't consider this. so they don't think about it at all. And so they're happy with their 3 times their supplies, or, they're happy with, like, I paid for my supplies, I paid for my business expenses, and I paid myself a wage. That's enough for them. That doesn't cut it because you still have to pay taxes. You still have to, make some money. Say you're scaling your business and now you're paying someone else to make products. Where are you getting paid? You get paid from the owner's salary. So, and then you make profit because you're a business. A business needs to make profit or it won't ever grow. So think about, have you even considered this in your business model of, like, what are your margins? What are your profit margins in your business? Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, do you wanna pay yourself a fair wage? As you're creating your physical products and, putting them up for sale, are you are you paying yourself $2 an hour to be a crochet artist? If you're paying yourself $2 an hour, that's not a fair wage. Even if you're paying yourself $9 an hour or minimum wage, is that a fair wage for your skill level? If you've been crocheting for 10 years, if you're designing Ami, if you have built a business that is a desirable brand, you deserve more than minimum wage for the work that you're doing. If you have been crocheting for a year and you just started your business and you're still kind of working out the kinks of tension, of stitch quality, of product selection, of brand growth, then maybe, minimum wage is okay to start with, but eventually you're gonna wanna be making more money, so both the wages that you're paying yourself and the salary you're paying yourself as a business owner, um, so that needs to be congruent with your skill level, and your brand, okay? So those are things to think about that we don't usually talk about in the crochet world, right? So, the first thing I want you to do as you're thinking about pricing is there are so many people who have pricing strategies already laid out for you. They may have differences here and there, but if it's coming from a business coach perspective, then um, it's been tested, right? So I have a free pricing, calculator. It's an Excel spreadsheet. I will put a link in the description of this video, or I will put a link in my bio. It's not there as we're recording, but I'll put it in there in a little bit, that you can request a free copy of that pricing calculator that you can use. I also know there are other people, specifically the one I can think of off the top of my head is, Cameron's Cute Creations. She has a pricing calculator that's available as well, so you might wanna check that out. Um, so find the pricing calculator that works for you. Like I said, everyone has their little tweaks and their little differences. So check them out, find the one that works for you, and then be consistent in that. So, the things that we think about with our pricing strategy, right, is, and I really want you to consider these things as well. Consider what did you spend on supplies? I feel like this thing is cutting my face off. What did you spend on supplies? What was the time that you spent making your item? What hourly wage are you paying yourself? What are your general business expenses per item? Now, in the beginning, you're probably gonna have to guess this, but as you start building your business, you'll be able to, do some calculations to estimate my per item business expense is this, and then start adding that to your products. What are your general business expenses? Licensing, um, your website, your booth setup, um, your tags, your shipping supplies, all of those things that you need that go into building your business. And then, think about markup. So the markup is your profit and your owner's salary. So those are the things that you need to build into your pricing strategy in order to build a business that is sustainable. If you're not pricing your products properly, your business will never be sustainable. Um, If you are, let's say you're a single, parent, right? And you have a business, you don't have anybody else's income to fall back on. If you're not pricing your products properly and you're not building a business that is profitable, you're not gonna be able to pay your bills. So a lot of people who will tell you like, "Oh, I charge this, or I charge that, I'm still making money." If they're not actually, like, drilling down into the minute details of where that money is going, um, it can be a dangerous game because if they have someone else's income to fall back on, they could be making 0 profit and still be okay, and so it feels okay, their business feels okay, their bills are getting paid, but in reality, it's not their business that's making the money, so keep an eye on your profit and loss statement so that you know in minute detail where your money is coming from and where your money is going. This is how you run a business, right? Um, and ensure that you have profits coming in, that you have money coming in over and above everything you're paying for your business, money that you're paying your own wages or the wages of your contractors, your taxes, your owner's salary, and then you have money left over, right? That money is for you to continue to reinvest in your business or to have fun money for your general life. So I want you to think, all right, I get exasperated because um, I really care about this, and I really care about you being able to pay your bills and have an actually sustainable business where you have, like, options for your life of, like, "Oh, I wanna take a couple days off, and I know my business will be fine. I know I'll still pay my bills. I'm gonna go on vacation. I don't wanna worry about the cost of that. I wanna upgrade my seat to first class. I don't wanna worry about that." Whatever it is that makes you feel good, I want you to be in that space. I don't want you to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck or craft fair to craft fair, worried about the options that you have for your life, and you're not getting your bills paid, you're struggling to feed your kids, like, all of that stuff, I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to pay your bills anyway. Okay. I told you I'm passionate about that. Um, so that pricing strategy is one way to go about it. Another way to go about it would be to use the profit first model, which I shifted from the pricing strategy model to the profit first model when I realized I wasn't bringing in the profits that I wanted in my business, and I wasn't keeping as much money as I wanted from my sales. So a lot of the money was going back into the business. So the profit first model, I'm not gonna go deep into it. I mean, it is a copyrighted model by Mike Michalowicz. Go get the book, Profit First, and then, figure that out for your business. But just a general overview would be that you take the price of your product and you boil it down to 5% of that money is going into your profit account. You just take 5% off the top and you put it in your profit account, and that's your profits. Okay, so we're going about it backwards from the way we did before. Before, our profits were what was left over. Now we're taking profits up front. Okay, so take your profits first. That's why it's called profit first. Then you take your owner's salary. So how much do you pay yourself? When you sell an item, how much of that money goes into your pocket? Do you know? So, the model that I went to when I was selling physical products was 50% of the price of that item went into my pocket, not as wages, not as payment for my time, but as my salary as the owner of that business. So if I sold um, a hat set, hat and scarf for $80, $40 immediately went into my pocket, all right? And then $4, is that right? Yeah, $4 went into my profit account from that item. $4 in my profit account, $40 in my pocket, all right? 15%, which that would be $12, went into the account to save for taxes because you have to pay taxes on your income that you're making, right? And it's either gonna come out of, um, what your customers pay you, or it comes out of your surplus, like your husband's paycheck pays your taxes, right? We don't want that. We want your business to pay your taxes for you. So say 15%, and that goes to your taxes. Then the rest, which is 30%, is your business expense. This is how much you paid for supplies, this is how much you paid wages to yourself or your contract crocheters. We always wanna build in, what if someone else had made this for me, for my business? Because eventually, if you grow and scale, you want to bring other people into your business to help you make product so that you can make more profit, right? So in order to do that, you need to account for those wages. So those wages, those business expenses, those supplies all come out of that 30%. So basically, the idea is that now you know you have 30% to work with in your business, and how do you build your business so that that 30% is enough to pay the bills? So with the other pricing model, a lot of times we can get caught up in spending a higher percentage of our actual product price on the business, which is the problem that I ran into with my business. 60% of my product price was going to the business, and I think it was, I don't know, something like 10% of the product price was going in my pocket, which was totally not workable long term. So check out the Profit First model. I really, really recommend it. It really changed me. My husband and I both are business owners, and we use the Profit First model for both of our businesses, and our income skyrocketed because we were keeping more money for ourselves and really getting wise and strategic about our business expenses. Never paying for things that we didn't already have the money for in our business. So, just something to think about. I really, um, yeah, I really just, wanna give you that option. Okay, so then as you're pricing, again, consider market viability. As you come up with a price, like, "This is my item. I have to sell it for this much money in order for it to be worth it for my business." So, whatever the pricing strategy comes out to be, whatever the profit first model comes out to be, um, that's how much you need to sell that item for in order to make it worth it for your business. And, check around and see, what are others selling that product for? Are other people making sales? Now, there are gonna be people who are totally underpricing. We're not considering those people in your business model. Like Target doesn't consider dollar store when it's looking at what to price its things, right? Nordstrom doesn't consider Walmart when it's pricing its things. It could have the exact same product. It's gonna price it what it needs to price it at in order to make their business model work, and then they build the brand around commanding those prices, and that's what I want you to do as well. So check out, what are the high ranges of what are people selling these products for and actually making sales. You're gonna find people that are charging, you know, hundreds of dollars for items that people wouldn't pay more than 50 or $60 for. Be realistic about that. So check what the market is commanding for the products that you wanna sell and what are actually selling those products for, and then price your products at the high end of average, okay? And then as you look at that price, compare that to what your I have to charge this much and see what the difference is, all right? If there's a disparity in, people are only gonna pay this much for this product, but I need to charge this much, ask yourself some questions about what you need to do in order to command the prices that you need. So, the first thing I would suggest is to increase the perceived value of the product. How can you do that? Well, um, display how you display items speaks to the value of your products. What your brand looks like speaks to the value of your products. If you have an old tablecloth or an old sheet as the covering for your booth, and you just have things piled there, people are gonna have an automatic lower perceived value of your products than if you have something where you're actually, what's the word? When you're marketing and you have, like, levels, you have good lighting, and you have nice signage, and you have nice price tags and all of that. When you build your booth in such a way, or your shop in such a way that people come to your shop and they're like, "Oh, this is the real thing. This is artwork. This is not stuffed animals, right? So consider those things to increase your perceived value so that you can charge what you need to charge. And then finally, and this is a hard one, be honest with yourself when it's not worth it and it's not viable. If there are products that work out the calculations, you say, "I have to charge this much money in order to sell this item," and there's no way for me to find the audience who is gonna pay that much for this item, then you take that item out of your product line. It's just wisdom, right? You don't sell things for less than they're worth, if it's gonna tank your business. You have to think long term in your business. So there is I was talking to Katie from Hooked by Katie earlier about this same topic, and she's like, there is a benefit to bringing a really high-end product with you and putting it on a shelf and giving it a really high price value so that people can then compare your other items to that high price item. So let's say, like Katie does dragons, if she brings her dragon Vincent with her and she prices him at 3 or $400, and then people look at the smaller items and they're like, "Well, that's $25 for that little thing." I'd rather pay $25 and wow, this is great. And, you build your brand in such a way that people are like, "Oh, this is great quality. This is, like, well branded. People are gonna think this is awesome." They'll pay that much, okay? So you can use that as a draw into your booth. Um, and then also you can have a loss leader. Like, you might have one product where you're underpricing it as a way to get people into your booth and making their first purchase. This is a marketing strategy that you can choose to use or not, but it can't be your, like, main seller, because if your main seller is, giving you a loss, you have to account for that with your other product sales. So, just things to think about. If something is not viable, don't sell it. Even if it's fun to make, even if people love it, people wanna buy it, if they're not gonna pay you what you need to get paid, then you don't need to sell it. I mean, it just comes down to that. So, that's me being pragmatic, but I really want you to be smart about the way that you're pricing items and the way that you're keeping an eye on your profit margins to see if your business is actually headed in the right direction. You don't have to be growing and growing and growing, but you need to not be declining. And if you're not charging enough, even though it feels good to walk away from a craft fair with $2,000, if your profit margin is in the negative, that doesn't matter. Your gross sales don't matter if you're not making a profit. So keep an eye on all of that. Okay, I'm going to pop over and see if there are any questions happening in the group, and I'll answer those real quick, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, um, let's see. Was it hard to swap over to the profit first method? It wasn't. I just did it. Um, but that's how I operate. So, if I find something that I feel like is gonna be good for me, I just do it. So I don't stress about how hard it is. Everything's hard. Business is hard. We didn't get into business because it's easy and everyone can do it. Um, just do it. Okay. So, check with your CPA and state, but in my state, everything earned over $600 a year is taxed. So, everything from what I understand, everything is taxed. Talk to your CPA. Um, and, like, don't build a business on trying to circumvent the rules, right? Don't build your business on, "How can I get away with it?" Because that is not a way to build a business, right? So, if it's like, "Oh, well, I'll only make $599 so I don't have to pay taxes," um, that's not a way to build a business. You're not gonna don't worry about taxes, just build it into your profit margin so that you don't have to worry about it. Um, let's see. Adorable designs, the rule of thumb is being legal from the get-go is just better for you in the long run. 100%, I totally agree. Um, yep. So, do you have to pay taxes if you only do a few craft fairs? Yes, ma'am, you do. Profit First is worth reading, very understandable and helpful model. I agree. Um Alright. Can you have a crochet business just by making Ami as an only income? I mean, sure you can. Um, there are many people who do, so you have to get strategic, you have to price properly, you have to figure out how you're gonna make all your inventory, and, figure out where's the most profitable places for you to sell. Where are your customers at? And start selling to them. So, it does take some time to build up a brand and build up a following, um, but yeah, you can get there. Okay, so there's cutting in and out. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so someone said, "I'll be interested in how long you'll be live." I never know how long I'm gonna be live, it's just until I'm done talking about things. Um, okay, awesome. I'm gonna scroll back to the bottom. Do you have any tips for pricing patterns or ebooks? Yes. Chanel, I have a podcast about, pricing patterns, so go check that out. Go to crochetpreneur.com, search for pricing patterns, and you'll find that. But there's also inside of CBA, you'll find a download that's like a pattern pricing worksheet to walk you through that. Was it difficult finding contract crocheters? The way that I have done it in the past is I have, um, put a message on my local Facebook group and said, "Hey, I'm looking for contract crocheters. I need help making blah, blah, blah. If you're interested, let me know." And so people contacted me, said they're interested. I sent them a pattern and had them make a test product, and then they brought it to my house so I could make sure that it was the quality that I was looking for, and then I worked with them. I also had people from around the country who were other connections, friends who crocheted, friends of friends who crocheted, and, they did work for me as well, and the same thing. I just had them make a sample and mail it to me, and once, we determined that it was the quality that we were looking for, then we hired them, and, they would go buy the yarn and send me the receipts, and then I would refund them the money that way. So, alright, I am going to let you all go and get back to work. This was fun. I hope you found it helpful. Again, if you want my pricing product spreadsheet, you can, just let me know. You can leave a message here, you can send me a DM, but I will put it in the product or I'm sorry, I'll put it in the video listing, and I will put it in the link in my bio so that you can find it there. So come back in a little bit. I do have a meeting in 20 minutes, so maybe I'll be able to get it done, within the next 20 minutes and put it in the link in my bio, okay? Thanks for coming. I so appreciate you all. I hope you found this helpful, and, go out there, charge what you're worth. If you can't charge what you're worth, take it out of your product line. Alright? Thanks for being here, everybody. Talk to you later.